do this job, and as you all cover the things that we have to report on, sometimes the depravity of this and what we do is shocking. And unfortunately, we're here to report on one of those cases here today. We want to announce the arrest of Sherilyn Hawkins for the murder of her 21-year-old son, Tyleem Hatchett. The victim, Tyleem Hatchett, suffered from cerebral palsy and developmental delay. He was nonverbal, he was blind and wheelchair-bound, which made him dependent upon caregivers for feeding, bathing, and mobility. The victim was not provided food and water and was left alone for long periods of time where he starved to death. At his death, he weighed 59 pounds. So also charged in this case for neglect of a care-dependent person is Loretta Harris, who is being paid to assist in the care of Tyleem. Charges have also been filed for involuntary manslaughter and neglect of a care-dependent person on the victim's father, Vernon Hatchett, and there is currently a warrant for his arrest. We'll get to that aspect in a minute. This is a long and complicated affidavit of probable cause. I think it's over 53 pages of work that went into it. So I'll try to sum it up a bit here. So September 18th, Upper Dublin responded to an apartment in Dresher at the residences at the Promenade. They found Tyleem, who was severely emancipated and lay dead on the floor. An autopsy was conducted the next day on the 19th by a pathologist from the Montgomery County Coroner's Office. After a number of things that the Coroner's Office went through, the doctor made a determination as the cause of death to be complications of cerebral palsy in the setting of neglect, and ruled the manner of death to be homicide. So with me here is Chief of our County Detective Bureau and Lieutenant Nice from Upper Dublin Township PD. That's who conducted this intensive joint investigation into this, and through a variety of means, they determined over the September 1st to the 18th, the last point of Tyleem's life, that he was left unattended, alone for a long period of that time. In fact, the detectives were able to determine 82% of this time, this individual who had no mobility, blind, couldn't speak, couldn't eat on his own, couldn't take medication on his own. 82% of the time he was left alone in this apartment, where the police found him dead on the floor. They also determined that during the period of time from about February to his death in September, he had a significant weight loss. He was 90 pounds at Abington Hospital in February, and then 59 pounds at his death. So the mother, Sherilyn Hawkins, and Loretta Harris were both receiving money for his care. They were submitting hours to a place called Avena Healthcare to be compensated for the time that they were not caring for them, and we've established that through a number of means. And again, I want to credit the detective work in this case. They put a lot of hours and a lot of time into this to make these determinations, to show where these individuals were, that they were not with Tyleem, which they were getting paid to be, and basically in this, and when you have a case where omission is the criminal act, you look at a situation where they have put this 21-year-old in an apartment away from help and care, and secluded him in this area and not provided any of the things that they were supposed to, and they were basically contracted to do during this period of time. And this young man starved to death because of what they had done. I note that there was one individual that worked in the place and helped with the security, and although Tylene was on the paperwork for the rental at the promenade, they had never seen him. So he's secluded in this apartment for this period of time. I'll take questions, and I want to note also here that Ed McCann is the first assistant district attorney. Ed has a lot of experience with these type of cases, and there's been some pretty significant ones over the years that he has handled, and the case is in extremely good hands with him. If you hadn't heard, he's the current award winner and reigning best assistant district attorney in the country, and his partner on this case is Allison Ruth. Allison, I've worked homicide cases with her. She's one of the very, very best, and so this case is in really, really good hands with these two. Lastly, before I take questions, Vernon Hatchett, and I'll show a couple photos up here if I can. That's Sherilyn Hawkins, who was arrested last night, and she is currently at the prison. She's charged with first-degree murder, so there's no bail available. She will not be leaving the facility, and Loretta Harris turned herself in this morning, and she'll be arraigned at some point today, and we'll see the bail on that. Lastly, Vernon Hatchett. Vernon, we were not able to apprehend last night. He is wanted. He knows he's wanted. Through his past, I would say that he is a dangerous individual, and I hope that anybody sees him will contact authorities right away, so that we can get him into custody on this case. All right, we'll take questions.
The residence is at the promenade.
Yeah.
Is it an apartment building? Is it a facility of some type?
Yeah, no, it's an apartment building, and pretty high-end apartments there, and they were renting an apartment there. I think, partly, through the money that Tylene received because of his disability that was going to the mother.
How much were they getting to care for this young man?
So that's outlined in the affidavit, but through the last period of time, you can see through the 1st to the 18th, we broke that out within the affidavit, and different amounts for the different weeks, but for the period of time between September 1st and the 18th, the Sherilyn Hawkins had received over $2,000 from Avena, and Loretta Harris had received over $3,000. And again, 82% of the time, nobody's with this young man, and they're getting paid to be there with him and let him die.
Are any of these suspects trained in this kind of background, or do they have any training, or are they licensed to do this type of work?
All I know is that they had a contract with Avena Healthcare to take care of Tylene, and they weren't doing it.
And was there any oversight? Like who's in charge of the oversight to make sure that these people are looking after this person?
That's a good question. And I think some of the oversight was prevented, but we're still investigating this case and we're still looking into it.
You've covered a lot of cases. You seem pretty shook up about this. Can you talk about how this is kind of hitting you?
Yeah, I think everybody involved is affected by this. I mean, this is an individual who couldn't care for himself, and was totally dependent upon care, and he's a care dependent person, and they starved him to death. They just didn't provide for him during this period of time, and they knew what was going on. They knew it, and they did it, and that's why Sherilyn is charged with first-degree murder, because these were intentional omissions that she was making through this period of time. She had a duty as a parent. She had a duty, as a contracted employee. She was receiving benefits of this, and she let him die.
There was other kids, apparently. She has other kids. How many other kids, and where are those children now?
Yeah, I can't get into that, but their mother is incarcerated at this point, so that will have to be something that's handled by the other agencies.
Just to clarify, the apartment was just for Tylene to be in, or the parents lived there too? Like this was the family?
Well, I think the mom was supposed to live there too, but she seemed to not be there very much.
And then the weight loss from February to September, is it
Yeah.
believed that there was abuse happening before September as well?
This is over a long period of time, yeah. But in terms of going through and looking at it intensively, hour by hour, we covered that time period of the last 18 days that he suffered through this. But the weight loss is from 90 pounds at Abington Hospital in February to 59 pounds at his death.
You touched on this, but if it comes out that there was not proper oversight from this company, could you pursue charges against this company?
Well, all I'm going to say at this point is that this case remains under investigation, and we're looking into all aspects, of this, and that's what we do. I mean, in terms of how we investigate cases, and are there other people that have criminal liability, and I can't answer that at this point. But what I can say is that Sherilyn Hawkins is charged with first-degree murder of her son. Vernon Hatchett is charged with involuntary manslaughter and the neglect of a care-dependent person, and Loretta Harris is charged with neglect of a care-dependent person, and theft charges with that too, because they're taking money that they're not doing the work for.
Was the only income they were making from the money they were getting taking care of their son, or were they working other jobs as well?
I know there was other money coming in, but I can't be specific on that at this point.
So they wouldn't spend the night there? The parents didn't live there? They just basically left the shop?
The dad, Vernon, was there, I think, 3 times, in that period. So, they were staying other places a lot of the period.
Why the different charges between Sherilyn and Loretta? They were both being paid to take care of them.
Sherilyn had different duties. Loretta was basically a contracted employee for that, and we looked very carefully at those charges to make those determinations. I don't know that Loretta was there, but maybe once during this period of time that she was taking money. Sherilyn Hawkins, she knew this was going on. She knew he was dying. He was dying, and even the day of when he was found, and they found him 2 hours before they called. And on that day, she didn't want to go into the house because she knew what was going to find. And that is an aspect of this that she clearly understand. She knew the background. She knew what was going on, and she purposely stayed away from him during this period of time. And so that is murder.
Can you give us a sense of the amount of care that was needed for Tylene? Like, what did he, what,
Complete care. Complete care. He's blind. He's deaf. He can only be in a wheelchair. He needs medication that is not being provided for him. This is a completely care-dependent person in every respect, and there was no care for him. There was no feeding. There was no water. He starved to death in this apartment and was laying on the floor when the police came. This is a horrible death.
any idea how he got onto the floor?
I don't. Okay. Look, all right, go ahead.
Do you mind showing the first screen again?
Sure, we'll put that up there so you can have it and get a thing and provide it.
Real quick, an unrelated case for another reporter on the Night's Inn. Is there anything you can tell us about the two dead at the Night's Inn?
It's the roadway, and I think in Montgomery Township.
Yeah.
I can tell you that it's still under investigation. That case, the families have been notified, of it. The door was locked from the inside, so I don't anticipate that this is a case that we're going to be proceeding on. We're waiting for the coroner to make some determinations on that.
Was it a shooting?
Both individuals were shot.
Was it a murder-suicide?
Well, we're waiting for the investigation into that at this point.
I'd ask for someone else.
I understand, and I'll answer for myself. All right.
And also, if there's anything new on the Meredith Road, Montgomery.
We're continuing that investigation. I anticipate that there will be more charges filed in that case. I spoke about it before in terms of what we were looking at, and we will continue that investigation. We're not near done in terms of exposing what these individuals were up to. Okay, sorry.
Where's the, you said the arraignments today, where is that at?
They do it from the prison. They do it by video, so there's not a walk or anything along those lines. And again, everybody says Happy New Year to everyone at this point. I'm sorry that we have to talk about what has gone on here, but some solace I hope for anybody that cared about this individual is that the mother is in prison and not leaving, and we hope that Vernon will be in the same facility very soon. Thanks, everybody. All right, I'll put that up. Okay.
I'm gonna get those lights out that we wait to get. Yeah, see, from this angle, the reflection is better. Yeah, I'll get you will. I'm just talking and asking.
You guys, if you want to talk, it's better off from that way.
Thank you.
You want the other lights off, too? Does this help?
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks so much. And they'll be sending them out later anyway, right?
Yes, the photos will be attached with the email. So you'll have it.
Yes, please.
I saw you come earlier, I wanted to make sure that I got Yeah, so once I get back across the street, I'll send out to the everything, so. I'm not sure. What's his name? Oh, Vinny, no, I haven't heard from Vinny. Not yet.
He might be on vacation.
Yeah, usually, yeah, my number's right. Also, if you want my card, that has my other numbers on it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, usually Vinny calls me in the morning, asks me questions, but I figured he was off today.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Anybody else want to?
Thank you.
card or anything?
I think somebody's still shooting there, hold on. I'm gonna slide this down.